Welcome! In front of me is a Samsung Galaxy J6 Plus, and today I will show you a couple tweaks and tricks that I can do on this device. So we're going to begin with the gesture navigation, which allows you to remove the pesky buttons on the bottom and substitute them for something a little bit more elegant and minimalistic. So to get started, go into your settings, and from there we're going to go into display, so right here, and then see, it's going to be navigation bar right here, and from here you can see that there's the full screen gesture, so you can check that on. And I'm not sure how well it's visible, but there's still a little bit like tiny little pills. You can kind of see them more on the image right here. They basically indicate where the buttons used to be, and there's basically the same. So for instance, when you have a recent button on the left and on the right you have the back button, if you change into gestures, that still stays. So go back, swipe up, or go to recent, swipe up here. So keep that in mind. Now you can also remove these tiny little indications right there completely by just checking this one. So gesture hints, and now there's nothing, so you can't see anything. But if you're used to how Android buttons used to work, instead of pressing on the screen right there, you just swipe up from the bottom, and they work almost the exact same. Not the best way you could do it, gesture navigations, but hopefully maybe with Android 10, when all the companies are actually forced to implement them better, they will improve it with a little bit more of a gesture navigation that is more friendly. So that's the first one. Now moving on, I'm going to go into the animation speed. Now this is not particularly the fastest device, so I would say that changing the animation speed on this device might help it a bit in terms of how well it looks or how quickly I can access apps. But to enable it, you go into the settings again, but this time not here. This time you go all the way down into about phone. Disregard the fact that I already have developer options on. That's where we're gonna go, but first we need to enable it, and by default they are disabled. So go into about phone, then software information, and find build number right here. Tap on that 7 times. For me it says no need, developer mode has been enabled. So as you see, I already have it, but in your case you tap on it 7 times, and after the 7th tap it will either confront you with some kind of pattern if you have set some kind of protection. If you don't, it will just automatically enable, and from there you can go back once more into the main page of settings, as you can see, and right at the bottom, the last option, you should see a new pop-up there, which is the developer options. And from here you can scroll down a little bit past halfway. What we're looking for is animation speeds and transition speeds. So there we go. You have window animation scale, transition animation scale, and animation duration scale. So each one of them corresponds to a different animation. For instance, the first one, the window animation, window is this pop-up right here. So if I change it to ×10, you can get a brief idea of how it will look. So you can set it to off, and once it closes, you can see that now it's instant. There's basically no animation. There's still some kind of shadow effect behind that that's supposed to cooperate with the animation speed of the window, but the window is instant. And you can set all of them to off. You can also set them to half speed if you want to drastically increase the speed of it, but still actually have some kind of animation. Otherwise, if you close something, it's gonna be instant. It doesn't slide down when you go into recent. It doesn't do some kind of like tile sliding. When you open an app, it doesn't go into full view by just extending. It just pops in there. So that might be a little bit too harsh for you. You can always, like I said, set it to half speed, and it's gonna be better than any kind of other settings for speed increase on any device that you normally have. Some devices actually come with increased speed of animations, but they basically mean nothing when you're comparing it to the developer options right here. So we can now see with half speed, it's way quicker, basically twice as quick as it normally was. So it's preference. If you want it off, you can turn it off. If you want to set it to half speed, you can do that too. Now, Another thing that I want to show is the split screen. Now, in normal circumstances, split screen allows you to just use two different apps at the same time. So you can multitask, copy information from one app to another without actually switching the apps. And the way you would enable this is by, for instance, let me open up something like Chrome as an example. And where else can I open? That is, let's see, anything interesting here? I guess let's go with settings. So now if I go into recent, you see this little button of like 2 bars. This will allow you to enable the split screen. Now, whenever you enabling split screen, the first tab that you enable this on is the one that is going to go on top. So if I use Chrome, it will open up Chrome in upper part, and then it gives you a tile view of all the other apps that are open right now, which you can just tap to add to this part. If your app isn't open, you can always just close this. It minimizes it. Let's just disregard this. It minimizes it. You can still see that it's open, and you have access to home screen from where you can open the app that you want. So for instance, I can again tap on the settings, and you can see that you can use 2 different apps at the same time. They're fully usable. They're also, you can resize it. There we go. Now once the keyboard actually pops up, it does, let's go back, there we go. So once the keyboard pops up, it shifts it so it can fit. As you can see, again, everything is usable here. Let's go back once more to actual settings, there we go. So that's the first one. Now there's another use for it that I find very useful, and another way you can enable it. Also through the recent, if you pull up, you have this other button right here. This is the furthest one to the left. So when you tap on it, it gives you a resize window. And what it does is just you place it wherever you want and whatever size you wish. So for instance, you can just set it like this and tap on done, and that section will go right at the top. And it's still interactable, although this is super tiny and barely obstruct anything, but also kind of prevents you from accessing it easily. And let's just clear it and show what this is better for, in my opinion. So when you open up YouTube, as you all know, when you do that and you try to quit YouTube so you can do other stuff like everybody else does when listening to music, you don't want to have it straight on your screen, take all the real estate of it. You would want to probably close it and listen to music while doing other stuff, but you don't feel like paying the subscription for no apparent reason, in my opinion. So what you can do is just enable this. So let's go into recent. Once you open up YouTube, tap on the button right here, and you have again this adjustable window. So you probably want to set it up straight at the top so you have access to the search bar, because if you would, for instance, go lower, you will only see the content from here. It basically crops it and puts it in the size of the window that you choose. So you want to make sure that you're catching the search bar so you can actually search, and then you can make it way smaller to whatever feels, well, reasonable, I guess. I think this will be on the verge of unreasonable, and then tap on done. And from there you have other apps. So let's just go to other apps, for instance, like Chrome, and add that. No thanks. And there we go. So you can see that you still have access to search. So you can search for videos here. It opens up the search bar. Just actually minimize this. Let's click on the back, and you can also, as long as you don't close it, which I just did by mistake. So that's what I mean by unreasonable. When you grab the line, you can actually slide it up to close the app, which I just did by mistake. So let's try that again. Not like this, and make it a little bit smaller. Okay, there we go, done. And now let's open up Chrome again. And from here, as you can see, you can scroll through it. Now I'm gonna mute the sound so there is no sound coming. And let's just open up whatever. There we go. So you can see videos playing right now, or well, in this case it's an ad. And you can continue to use your device, like Chrome, as you can see right now. You can also, in a way, leave this up so you can see. And the video is still playing. You can see there's a little X over there, but the video is still playing. It's not being stopped by anything. So it just allows you to listen to music or anything else without actually needing to have it open and take up all your screen and not be able to do anything else. So I consider this very handy. Okay, now moving on, just close this. We're going to go into the quick open notification panel, which for a bigger device in my opinion is just a must. Now this device also has access to One UI, which although in this moment it's not updated, there it is, software update. I could update it to One UI, which would be way better for the device. Also changes the way this layout is located, which is more suitable for one use hand. So all these toggles would actually be at the bottom, so just a little bit better. But the setting stays the same on any version, and what it allows you to do is just pull down instead of the up tray that I just pulled down. You'd be able to pull down the notification panel and you wouldn't have to reach all the way to the top to actually open it. So to do it, it was located in, where was it? I think it was somewhere in the home screen settings. Let's see. Yep, there it is. So quick open notification panel. So I'm gonna actually go there once more. You basically pinch the screen and get the options here and then go to home screen settings. And from here, just enable this. And if you leave now, you can, instead of opening up the up tray like we did previously, you will pull down the notification panel. And this allows you to pull it down basically straight from the bottom of the screen. You don't have to reach all the way to the top to pull it down, which in my opinion is very handy and just simplifies the use of the device. Okay, so the last thing that I want to show is the option for the Bixby. Now, I'm not a very fan of it. It kind of annoys me, especially that it's here. And I most certainly do not want to update it. So I just leave this. So you can actually disable it so you don't by mistake go to it, because at least in my opinion it's useless when you can use something like Google. And to disable it, when you go again, pinch the screen and slide to the page of Bixby. As you can see, Bixby Home right here. You have this toggle. All you need to do is just toggle it off. And now when you go back to the home screen, there is no more Bixby. This is the farthest page you can go to. So it just removes simply Bixby. But this would conclude all the tweaks and tricks that I want to share. And if you found any of them helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.